In today's video, we're going to be looking at 5 free AI tools you can use right now to streamline your productivity. If that sounds good to you, hit like and subscribe, and let's jump straight in. Okay, so the first tool we're going to be looking at is Napkin.ai. Now, this one's amazing. I use this all the time. I can't believe it's still free. The way that it works is you can input any text and then turn them into visuals. Where this comes in useful is inside of books, even on websites or inside of presentations. But let's just jump on the inside and I'll show you exactly how it works. Okay, so I've just made a fresh account here. I'm going to do is just click this create my first napkin. They've got some suggestions here, so why don't we just use that and go best practices for a hiring interview. And we're going to click that. And just like that, we've got the AI going ahead and writing and doing its thing. Now, where the magic actually shines is when we go through and we hover over a piece of text, you'll see that we've got a lightning bolt right here. So when I click this lightning bolt, it's going to instantly, boom, an infographic just like that. And have a look at how amazing this looks, right? So we can go through and choose different styles for this infographic to really find one that illustrates the point that you're trying to get across. You can then click in and customize it further to the exact style you're looking for. So I'm sure right there, it's even got your brain juices flowing, all the different ways that you can use that. I mean, you can use that inside of presentations. You can use that on websites and really hone in and customize the colors. You can even use it in ebooks or whatever you like. I've used it all the time. Can't believe it's still free. While it is, I highly recommend that you jump in and use it. I certainly know for myself, it's one of those tools. Once they change it over to paid, I'll certainly be paying for it because of how useful it is. So with that being said, let's jump into the next tool, which is called Notebook LM. So Notebook LM is an amazing free tool from Google that you're able to jump in and use. Basically, the way it works is you can add in multiple sources and then be able to communicate back and forth with those sources. Where this comes in incredibly useful is, let's say there's multiple websites or even YouTube videos, even Google Docs that you're really wanting to draw some information from. Maybe some particular training that you want to use to write an article. Maybe you want to have this customized to be able to write out your blog posts, or maybe you want to use this to write out some of your social media posts and train this particular tool with your style of writing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to plug in a couple of different pieces of information, add in some sources inside of here, and then we'll get into having a look at the way this works. The first one I'm going to put in is this Reddit right here, which is an artificial intelligence Reddit, and we're going to pop that in. So we'll just go to website right there. We're going to go paste and then insert. We'll go to this Wikipedia about business automation. So I'll also plug that in there as well. And then lastly, what we're going to do is go over to here and add in a massive grow, which is my AI and automation community. So if you wanted to jump inside of there, feel free. But what we're going to do is plug this in here as well. So we'll go insert. Okay, so what we've done is we've inserted 3 different sources inside of here. And what's really cool now is we can actually start typing and talk back and forth. Now, it does have some suggestions on things that we can send. So how is AI impacting various sectors and industries, right? And we're going to hit send. And then what we can do is give this a second, but it's going to analyze these 3 sources. And then it's going to respond back to us just like that. Now, what's really cool is it actually provides the sources on where it's actually got this particular information. So if we did want to dive deeper and have a look at exactly where it pulled this information from, then we could just hover over here and then dive deeper, which is really cool and super useful if you really want to, get super in depth with your research. So I'm going to show you this feature. This is where this really shines. Now, there's 2 hosts, and what I'm going to do is click this customize button for now. And the way this works is it's going to generate an actual kind of like podcast style, audio file talking about the particular things that we've inputted. We can also, give it a little bit of guidance as to how we want it to discuss the information. Okay, cool. So I've just put focus on how artificial intelligence and business automation are related and why Massive Grow is incredibly useful for anyone wanting to learn about this stuff, and then I'm going to click generate. Now, while that's doing its thing, we're going to jump into the next tool, and we'll come back to this shortly. Okay, so the next tool we're going to be talking about is Harpa AI. All right, so this one is incredibly cool. Now, there's a lot of similar tools out there like this, but this one's free, right? And I've had this installed for the longest time, and I've never had to pay for it, which is incredibly cool. Now, there's certain things that you can do with this. There's automations that you can do. You can have it act as a full-on AI agent. But what I'm going to talk about is just some of the real simple things that I use it for myself, that I find it incredibly useful for, and it helps me save a ton of time and has increased my productivity productivity massively just by using these couple of things. So I'll jump in and show you right now. So you'll see here that there's multiple things that we can do. I'll open up the little extension shortly, but you'll see that one of the really useful ones here is this summarize video. So what I'm going to do is just jump over to a YouTube video, and then we're going to hit the summarize video, and I'll show you how that feature works. Great. So I've just gone on to one of my videos on my YouTube channel, and what you'll see is on the right hand side, when we scroll down, you'll see the summarize with Harpa button that we can press. This absolutely was not there before. Once you install the Chrome extension, you'll see this little thing pop up, and then what we can do is literally click this button, and just like that, it's going to pop up with this window on the right hand side. On the right hand side, we can choose multiple different things that we want to do. So we could go fact check, we could go ideas if you just wanted to draw some ideas from this particular video. But where I really see this shine is takeaways. So what I'll do is I'll just click takeaways. Okay, great. So we can see some information here. I've just gone to the second page, and you'll see that it really breaks down this entire video. If I scroll up, you'll see that it's a 25-minute long video. And right here, we've got some information towards the end of this video. Now, what's really cool is if we wanted to, we could literally just go through and read the little bullet points here and save ourselves 25 minutes having to sit here and watch this entire video. Incredibly useful for when you're trying to consume information really fast, and for when you're trying to determine whether a video is worth watching. Now, not only that, let's say something does grab your attention, what I can do is actually click, and in the video, it's automatically going to take me to that particular part of the video, and then you're able to consume that part, save yourself watching the rest of the video. So look, that's the number one thing that I use it for myself. There's a bunch of other stuff that it does, so feel free to jump in and explore. They do have a paid version of this as well, just so you know, but I've used the free version for the longest time and I've never had to pay for it, so there you go. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is Fathom AI. Now, the way this works is if you have a ton of Zoom meetings, if you have a lot of online meetings, this literally attaches and automatically record your meetings and then summarize those with key bullet points based on what was discussed inside the meeting, right? So they do have a free and a paid version, but the free version is what most people actually do end up using, and it's incredibly useful. The reason why it's useful is because you can always go back and review a meeting later in the future and go through some of those key points. Not only that, just like with the tool I showed you before, it also summarizes an hour, 2-hour long meeting, and you can also jump from point to point inside of that meeting to be able to get that information that you need to gather from there, right? So, you know, this can potentially save you time having to send an email asking a clarifying question that you would have had to have done in the past before using this tool. While you're using this tool, you can just jump in and get that information straight away and progress forward in whatever you're working on, which is incredibly cool. So let's jump over and look at the website. All right, so we're on the website. So with this particular one, I can't jump in and show you the back end on mine. The reason being is because there's a lot of personal information inside of there, but we'll have a look through and see what they've got inside of here. Never take notes again. Just like I said before, you know, we've got these different takeaways and the summary from inside of the video. You will receive an email right after the meeting is done. You can also click through and it will take you to a Fathom page where you'll be able to see more of that information, including the recorded video. As well as that, no more post-meeting data entry. You can link it up to your CRM if you want, so you can automate some of that. It saves you having to manually do it and can be incredibly helpful for streamlining your processes. There's a whole bunch of other stuff here. I'll leave it to you to explore. Once again, you can jump in and install this for free. I absolutely recommend doing it. It's a great little tool, great little extension, and you can see the reviews here. It kind of speaks for itself. So the last tool we're going to talk about is Gamma.app. This one is absolutely amazing for creating presentations and slide decks incredibly fast using AI. When I first saw this, my jaw was on the floor. I was absolutely blown away. And if you've never seen this tool before, I'm sure you're about to be amazed. Let's jump in straight away and I'll show you how this works. So this is a website when you click on the link in my description, and then what you'll do is just literally sign up free. They do have a paid version, but I've never used the paid version myself. Their free version I've used constantly and I use it all the time, and I still haven't upgraded yet. So certainly you can do a lot of really cool stuff with the free version. Let me just jump into my back end and I'll show you how this works. Okay, great. So we've got these three options here for being able to create these presentations. So we can go paste in text, we can go generate, and then we can also import a file or URL. I'm going to go to the most popular one and I'm going to go generate, and I'll show you the way this works. So when I click inside of here, you'll see there's, a couple things that we can generate. We can generate a web page, or we can generate a document, but where this really shines is presentations, okay? So what I'll do is I'll just click on cards here. So basically cards is like, how many slides do you want to have inside of your presentation? The max that we can have on the free plan is 10. Once you upgrade and you go for the paid options of this tool, that's where you can get 15, 20, and even 30 if you really wanted to. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to click on 10, and then I'll show you the way this works. Down here, you'll see that we can just describe what we would like to make. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put something like how automations and AI are related and used together to make businesses money. Then I'm just going to click this magic button right here, which is generate outline. And just like that, you'll see that the AI has just gone through and it's generated the outline for all of these different slides. Okay. Now what we can do if we wanted, we could always jump in here. If we didn't like this particular one, we could delete it, or we could just edit it as we wanted to. But I'm just going to leave it as is, and I'm going to scroll down. You'll see that down here we've got brief, medium, detailed, and then we've also got image source as well. So if we wanted, we could use stock photos, or we could use AI images. For the time being, I'm just going to use AI images, and then I'll click continue down here. Then on the right hand side, you'll see that we can go through and choose all of these different types of themes and choose one that we like. So I'm just going to go through and show you a couple of these. So the cool part is you've got kind of like dark themes, you've got light themes. I'm just going to choose this because this kind of matches my setup and everything. So on the right hand side, click generate, and then just like that, watch this come to life. When I first saw this myself, my jaw was on the floor. Absolutely blew me away. You'll see just like that, with a single prompt, this is not only going through and creating an entire presentation with the click of a button, but it's also creating all of the images as well, right? And it looks absolutely incredible. And that's just in the click of a button. Now, I'm sure if you've watched any of my YouTube videos, you would have seen this kind of style presentation in some of them. If you were wondering what tool I use to create the slides, well, you're looking at it right now. One last thing to show you, which was what we were generating in Notebook LM. Let's just jump back over there. Here we are. On the right-hand side, you'll see here that we've actually generated an audio. And what I'm going to do is just recap. We have a couple of different sources inside here. Just to refresh your memory, we've got an artificial intelligence source, a business process automation source from Wikipedia, and my community as well, massivegrow.com. And I'm just going to hit play.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going deep on AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah, AI. And how it's changing the game for businesses. You know how we're always talking about staying ahead of the curve?
Absolutely.
Well, this is it, folks.
This is where it's at.
Exactly. We're diving into this community, Massive Grow, that's all about using AI to, get this, make your business bigger.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
I know, right?
Oh.
And they do things a little differently.
You'll see just like that, it's generated a AI podcast with 2 AI generated voices, and it sounds amazing, right? It absolutely sounds incredible. When I first saw this as well, this was another tool that just left me absolutely blown away. Now, where this really shines is if you're trying to stay on top of all the current stuff inside your industry, you can plug in news for the week and listen to this in podcast form inside your car and get very, very specific about the information that you're wanting to consume. Another thing that you can do as well is upload your own business reports as well, right? Let's say you're wanting what's happening with the sales team, you want to know what's happening in the HR department. Well, cool, great. You can just upload those documents and have the podcast automatically generated so that you can listen to it in audio form while you're driving into the office, right? Which is incredibly useful. It makes your time so much more efficient, and you're able to consume that information that's important to you in a really easy to consume way. If you stuck around this long, I want to show you one last bonus thing. I just released my new community focused on teaching people how to use AI and automations inside of their business in an incredibly useful way. And the way this works, by the way, is that the price of this community goes up every 25 members that join. So depending on when you actually see this video and jump in, will be dependent on the price that you will pay to get inside. Inside of here is a whole bunch of resources, a whole bunch of tools, and even AI tools that I've created and use myself every single day inside of my business to streamline my processes, to be able to accelerate my growth and automate my business rather than having to hire staff. If you want to check this out, go to massivegrow.com. There'll be a link in the description below as well. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and remember, like and subscribe.